Hey everyone, okay, so this is a video that a lot of you have been waiting for, and this is the Fenty range. So I've pretty much got everything, but I haven't got the eyeshadows or some of the lip, but otherwise it's pretty much stocked. So let's go through everything and I'll give you my thoughts. So I'll be completely honest and say that when I first got this stuff, I really wasn't expecting very much from it. I don't know why, I just wasn't expecting a lot, and I was very pleasantly surprised. So let's start with the first one, which is the Fenty Beauty, and this is the primer. Now this has an absolutely non-silicone feel to it whatsoever. It feels incredibly soft going on the skin. You don't get that ultra silicone feel, which I absolutely detest. I hate it. And this doesn't feel like that at all. It goes on really beautifully and dries completely matte, which makes sense because the foundations are matte. It's a truly beautiful primer that works beautifully with the foundation, which we'll get onto next. Now, all the information and the links are in the description bar for UK and US foundation. Okay, so this has a more of a silicone feel to it, without a doubt. Now, the shade range is massive. I think there's 40 shades from light all the way up to deep. One thing to bear in mind if you are light skinned, that almost all the shades, if not all, have quite a strong yellow undertone to them. So they won't suit everybody's undertone, but the majority of people do have a warm undertone, so you'll be fine with that. It's beautiful. Obviously it's Fenty Beauty, so it's beautiful to see really rich, deep shades, which is beautiful. Coverage. This is full coverage. It's actually medium to full, but we're really erring on the side of full coverage here. You get 32 mils in the pump, in the bottle, which is really good. If you want to know how long a foundation actually lasts, I did the experiment for you, and I'll leave that in the description bar right at the bottom. This goes on full coverage, so expect full coverage. It also dries down completely matte. There is drying down time, so it doesn't dry immediately like a lot of matte foundations can, but this does dry down and it's completely matte. For those of you with normal skins, slightly dry skin or combination, you may not need to powder this at all because the staying power of this is pretty bloody good. I will say so myself. I'm actually very fond of the foundation. I think it's a cracking foundation. If you're looking for that full coverage, you can always sheer it out by applying it with the primer or a bit of moisturizer, depending on how you feel. So let's move on to these. Now these are all magnetic, so they break apart and then they stick together, and they actually stick together with quite some force. Now these are your highlighter, contour, concealer. They're all matte. We'll get onto the shimmer ones in a minute. The shade range is beautiful. See, I've got them here. There's a lot of shade ranges to choose from. These are completely matte and they dry matte, but they go on. Generally speaking, really dry skins are not going to love these because they will drag, but that's the truth for everything with dry skin. It is, it is one of the most problematic skin conditions, especially for someone like me, because I really need to exfoliate someone's skin before I can get to work on it. But these go on beautifully. You can use them to highlight, and it's so good to see these in highlighting form without all that intense shine. I love the fact the foundations are matte, the contouring and highlighting sticks are matte, the primer's matte. That makes me really happy because then you can add shine where you want. Great for highlighting under on the nose, under the eyes, wherever you want. You can use the deeper sticks for contouring or bronzing. They're absolutely beautiful. You get in here 7.10 grams of product, which is really good. Once again, expect there to be a yellow base to almost all of these, apart from say the peach, which is a great corrector. So if you want to add a little bit of shine, we're still clicking on with the sticks, then this is where your blusher and your shine will come in. These are beautiful. Once again, 7.10 grams of product, so these will last you a while. I'm going to get on with some of the blushes. They are so gorgeous. I love the fact that you are applying color to the face with the sticks without touching powders yet. No powders, no nothing. And then you can add the shimmers over them to create this kind of glow, and the skin truly radiates that glow because the rest is matte because of the foundation and the primers. And of course the highlighters that we've just used. It is absolutely perfect. I honestly had such low expectations for this, and these are truly brilliant. One word to note about oxidization, because somebody's going to mention it. it's impossible to say if a foundation is going to oxidize on you. That's the foundation's properties mixed with your biochemistry that creates the change in color. No one knows if it's going to happen. It's just, you know, poor luck. But I haven't noticed oxidization on me when using it. But again, I don't know. Your skin is different, so bear that in mind. These are my favorite. Absolutely my favorite. Unicorn's probably that color that most people are going to want, but it's my least favorite just because I'm not a fan of kind of lilac on the skin. However, on deeper skins, it is phenomenal. On pale skins, I'm not that fussed with it, but it's gorgeous. So should we move on to some powder highlighters? Now, we've all seen the video of Rihanna where she stripes on the gold, and it is a mammoth effect. And you do not have to use it to that intensity. And I want to speak about this color in particular because it's going to be the color that most people want to gravitate towards. Now, the color is absolutely stunning. It's called Trophy Wife, and it is beautiful. You want to bear in mind that gold doesn't suit all skin tones. If you have very fair skin, I'm not a lover of gold. Gold to me is really for those with really medium, Mediterranean and dark skin. Gold just is not the color I would go to for my skin tone and lighter. It just isn't. Doesn't mean you can't use it. You can use whatever you want. It's just not my favorite. It goes on incredibly pigmented. You do not have to use it to that kind of intensity. What's great about these is you've added the blusher, you've added the highlighter in the sticks, then you can add a little bit more to the cheek if you want. You've got the shade range with Trophy Wife, which is amazing. Then you've got the duos, and the duos have a more natural side and a more shimmery side. Again, depending on application, depends on how they're going to look on your skin. But they apply beautifully, and the color spectrum of these is absolutely stunning. There's something here for all skin tones. So, Fenty Beauty, we have the Universal. Now this is the Universal powder. It is a pressed powder that has a almost invisible touch to it. I've not had any issues with flashback, so you need to think about that, but I haven't. This is a blotting powder and it contains 8.5 grams of product. Because the foundation is matte, some of you will not need to powder. This is really used as a touch-up throughout the day, mainly in the T-zone area and the areas you haven't highlighted. As far as touch-up powders go, it's really, really nice. And it is really, really nice. And I say that because it doesn't collect. It doesn't have a lot of emollient, so if you compare this to Charlotte Tilbury's Flawless Finish Powder, that has more emollients in it. But there's definitely, the Charlotte Tilbury is more aimed towards the drier side of things. This is definitely aimed towards more of the oily side of things, but it powders down beautifully, and I've not noticed flashbacks. It also powders concealer wonderfully. And lastly, I've got the lip gloss. Now I only got this one, and it is, I'm going to tell you something. See, this years ago, well not years ago, about a year ago, I was looking at doing some lip glosses and I asked for a container like this and I had the most horrendous trouble getting one. Turns out you can get them, so there you go. I wanted one that looked like a nail varnish, but there you go, here it is. Now this smells of peach and it smells absolutely beautiful and it's so pretty. I am absolutely like this at the really shimmery, glittery lip glosses that are in the range because they look so good, like so good. So I'm really going to be getting those. But this is truly an absolutely standout beauty. The only things that didn't appeal to me were the brushes, and that's because I have my own brush range. It's not because these aren't good, they're all synthetic, they work absolutely fine. It's just I prefer my own brushes, that's just my preference, but they're great. I also got, I don't quite know why, but I got the blotting powders. I can't write home about these because these are like every other blotting powder on the market, but they work, and that's the thing. So there you go, that is the entire line, and it looks and feels magnificent, and I am truly, I was not a believer going in, and these are pretty good. There you go. Leave your comments, all the information on the products is in there, including UK and US, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.